All right, hello everyone. It's Bob again. This time I will be doing the Amazing Spider-Man number 318. If you remember from a previous video, I did Spider-Man number 317, which for me was my introduction to Todd McFarlane. And I told you that I would get those books from a Rite Aid because I didn't have a comic shop around my way. So I would have to wait for them to update their spinner rack, which wasn't something that they would do on a regular basis. It was months before I ended up getting the next issue of this. And again, it blew my mind. I wore this comic out. I had something new finally after 2 or 3 months of reading 317, which I had probably done 100 times. I finally got the next one. But I will say this, I don't have these issues anymore, and I'm going to try to find them to replace them. But there were like the retelling of these, like it was classic Amazing Spider-Man tales where Todd McFarlane would draw the covers. And there was a two-parter that I had gotten, I think, where Spider-Man fights Doc Ock, and it was the death of Captain Stacy. So I had purchased those comics based off of the covers because I had seen McFarlane's artwork. But those were the older, reprinted comics or whatever. I mean, I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the artwork, but it wasn't Todd McFarlane, so that was a disappointment on that end. So when I had finally gotten this, I was just ready. Like, I had already looked through and saw that he drew it. I raced home, and it was the first thing I did when I got home was to start reading this, okay? So here we go with just a incredibly badass shot of the Scorpion. And the only time I experienced the Scorpion was from the old Amazing Spider-Man cartoon, okay? That was the only time I had seen Scorpion. So seeing him like this now, I was just like, holy shit, this is just awesome. I can't, I'm 100% invested again on this. The artwork, the pose, it's so much energy and action here, the exploding mannequins, okay? So basically, what we have going on here is the Scorpion has apparently a new suit that has a lot of new capabilities, and he's testing it out on these mannequins. I feel like it's a weird way to test it since mannequins can't really fight back, but I guess if you're just trying to see what the weapons can do or whatever, that works. And of course, these weapons were provided by Justin Hammer, who wants something in exchange. He wants the Scorpion to kidnap General Musgrave, and Scorpion's like, sure thing, I'll do it because you gave me this these new weapons and everything. That's what you're going to get. And then, of course, this is just Justin Hammer talking about his plans for what he's going to do when he gets General Musgrave. I have to say, all of this was just amazing to me. I was like, look at the detail on this guy. I don't know, the expression, just everything about it. The hands were so amazing to me. Again, this is not stuff that I was used to seeing when I would look at a comic. Then we cut to Peter and Mary Jane looking for a new apartment because, they had a great apartment when Mary Jane was a soap opera star. But of course, in a previous story, which I didn't know at the time, was she had this incredibly rich stalker who apparently paid to have her removed from the show when, he was because she wouldn't be with him. I think he started like, first I think he kidnapped her, and there was like a good multi-part series of this where Peter Parker was going around trying to find Mary Jane, but it was Mary Jane who ended up breaking free on her own, and I believe she helped save Spider-Man from Sticks and Stone at the time. And it was after she broke away that this rich guy, whose name I can't remember, basically like blacklisted her. So wherever she goes, like she's not getting work anymore. They don't have the money that they used to make, and they can't afford any decent apartments. So this is Peter trying to make her feel better about it. And then he's like, okay, well, we're definitely going to need some money, so let me change into my work clothes and try to get some photographs here. So here he is, going around New York, getting some of these photographs. And I got to tell you, it's like an amazing shot. This is really just 2 panels, but the pictures themselves kind of act as panels, letting you know what he did. I thought that was a brilliant idea. and just, detailing the house, detailing these buildings. All of this was insane to me. I was just in love with this. The pose of Spider-Man. Spider-Man just looks so cool the way that Todd McFarlane draws him. Okay. We revert back to the Peter Parker persona as he goes in to talk to J. Jonah Jameson in order to try to get some money and or some jobs or something like that. And Jonah's just like, hey, check back a week from October. I'm gonna guess that these go by this. So this was August, so that's a couple months away at least. And he slams the door shut. And then they talk a little bit about how Jonah hasn't been himself lately. And of course, we'll see here in these panels that Jonah isn't actually Jonah, but the chameleon. Okay, that was something that came about in a later issue. But here's Mary Jane again was ready for another job when this guy comes in and says, hey, they decided to go with someone else. And again, this is going to be the doing of the guy who is her stalker. And she just says she understands, but she tends to solve all her problems or feel better when she goes partying. And I'm going to say this again, especially when I flip this page, but a lot of people talk about how Todd McFarlane does not know how to draw women. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think Todd McFarlane does awesome jobs with women, especially when it is Mary Jane. To me, this was just like the pinnacle Mary Jane. This is what I liked the best when I saw this. Okay. And again, here we go. Now, this was another thing that kind of blew my mind. Here I am. I'm like a teenage boy. I'm getting this book. And here we go getting, these nighttime scenes here of Mary Jane changing into her like sexy underwear to go to bed with Peter and everything. And, she's a supermodel. And I got to tell you, she looks the part. And a soap actress. I feel like all of that is coming through in this, I feel like she knows how to be over dramatic because she was, she started on a soap opera at the time. But I'm sorry, again, to say that Todd McFarlane doesn't know how to draw women, I feel like that's incorrect. And then here we have a small cut to Harry Osborn as they're teasing the return of the Green Goblin. Okay. And then we have Peter Parker going to college to finish some courses when he comes across some people that he knows who are talking about doing some kind of peace demonstration. And Peter decides, okay, I'm going to have to, change clothes here or whatever and hang around and try to get some pictures of this peace demonstration. Later on, we have everybody, Peter trying to get pictures of what's happening here at this military compound. But we also have the Scorpion changing into clothes at the same time so that he can go kidnap General Musgrave. Okay. The similarities here of what they're doing, jumping the fences, going in. This is kind of wild to me because we have Scorpion here again, who has a lot of different weapons now built into his suit. And apparently he injects a hypnogen into this guy, which when, he says something here, he says, go back to being a watchdog. And then this guy thinks he's a dog. I feel like that was probably one of his more powerful weapons, and that could have been used on so many people in order to achieve this goal. But here we go. We have Spider-Man perched up high to get perfect shots of General Musgrave and everything at this event. Okay. And then we have Scorpion smash into the scene again. General Musgrave takes a couple of shots at Scorpion. His suit is bulletproof. Spider-Man swings down, starts beating the crap out of the Scorpion. Now he tries to blind him by shooting webbing across the eyes, and Scorpion's like, nope, that's not going to work anymore because this costume was built to repel that type of thing. This is just awesome. I was like, okay, look at all of this. Even when he throws Spider-Man off of here, it just still looks like Spider-Man's kind of having fun, and it never looks like Spider-Man's like not in control of whatever's going on. Dodging these things here, right? This one's kind of funny, but I love it. He picks up a big pile of rubble ready to, crush Scorpion with it. Scorpion jumps out of the way. Scorpion's running now while Spider-Man grabs his tail, swings him into a wall. All of this action is just it's so energetic. The storytelling here is so great. The style is awesome. I love it. Just this here, like with the speed lines and him swooping down to catch this tail, like all of it is just completely awesome. Again, this was stuff that was blowing my mind. So then Scorpion, using his new suit, shoots a blast ray at this wall, obliterating it and having it crash down. And while Spider-Man's going to solve that issue, he grabs General Musgrave. Now Spider-Man's holding up this wall to prevent anybody from getting killed. And of course we've got this guy here who won't get out of the way because he's got to get some pictures for J. Jonah Jameson for the Daily Bugle. Scorpion hears this. He does not like J. Jonah Jameson. So once he notices that this guy is about to make money for J. Jonah Jameson, he's like, well, we're not having that. I am going to put a stop to this right now. So he says that instead of kidnapping Musgrave, he's going to kill him within an hour unless somebody brings him J. Jonah Jameson for him to kill instead. So within an hour, somebody's going to die. And as we see here next issue, Hammer strikes back because, again, this is what Hammer spoke about with Scorpion before he went. Like, you're not going to let your personal vengeance get in the way of what, our deal. And he's like, nope, I'm going to do it. But then he turns his, back on it, all because he's got to take care of J. Jonah Jameson. This is wild because this is the letters page, and that's it. That's all we get. I don't know. I guess maybe later on I became used to seeing the Image Comics web letters pages, because they would put like 5 or 6 of them in the back there. You would get to see all these different things. That was also a weird thing, I think, at the time, that Image Comics were very, very big and very popular, and they were outselling a lot of stuff out there, and people were making tons of money. But you never saw these ads inside of an Image comic. All you got were ads for the respective houses that made those comics. So, if it was Extreme Studios, whatever commercials you're seeing in the book was for a new Extreme Studios book. You're not seeing these Nintendo games or those ads for the phone numbers that allow you to play Dungeons and Dragons or something like that over the phone. It was this weird thing, but most of these comics tend to have that. So I always thought that was weird because I felt like that was something that Image was leaving like off the table. Like, that was a way to generate more revenue. I wouldn't think that there's people out there who would turn down the opportunity to have an ad in an Image book with the way that they were selling, but they just ended up putting their own advertisements in there for their own books. Maybe that was more lucrative. Maybe it was because they were advertising these other books that they were able to sell those books at a much higher rate instead of getting revenue from these ads. With my comic, I was actually wondering. I don't have many friends that do comics, but it would be cool if the people that I knew, or people who watch me or whatever, if they do comics, we could trade off advertisements. I could send them information to put in their comic, and they could send me information to put in my comic, so that the word gets spread around more for our indie comics. It was just an idea I toyed around with, and it's something I always see whenever I read these old comics and I see all these ads for everything. I think about that a lot. But yep, that was Spider-Man number 318, another book that I read to oblivion. Just my absolute favorite. I'm thinking you can hear my dog in the background. Sorry about that, everybody. But I read this book like crazy, and then unfortunately my next Amazing Spider-Man I would be later on with Eric Larson. Eric Larson would take over while Todd McFarlane ended up getting the adjectiveless Spider-Man title. I was collecting those Spider-Mans. Those were everywhere. At that time, I had a comic shop to go to. So there was still a large gap between here and there where I was not getting McFarlane Spider-Mans. But I was getting X-Factor, X-Force, and X-Men. All the X titles were there each month. But the Spider-Man, I don't know if I was just coming late to the party and people were buying these up before I could get them. That was probably what's happening. But unfortunately, my next comic wouldn't be until Spider-Man #1 by Todd McFarlane. And then I would collect that series and have them all. Alright, so guys, again, thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit like. I'm looking to spread my name around because I am a comic book artist who's currently working on his comic Ghost Girl. If this is something that might interest you, please feel free to subscribe in order to get updates on when this comic will be out. Okay, guys, until next time.